Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Salute to LTTV in the building, man.
Shout out to brother LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Nobody's LT, and I'm certainly not implying that.
Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Salute to LTTV in the building, man.
Shout out to brother LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Nobody's LT, and I'm certainly not implying that.
LT cooking your ass.
If y'all want to keep up with the news and this shit be going on, subscribe to LTTV. That nigga know everything about everything. I ain't gonna lie.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Clip it, nigga.
On my mama, nigga.
We can say what we want about his character, whatever you want to say. But when you think about leaders, one of the primary elements you're looking for from them is fight. Are you somebody that has alligator skin and a level of intestinal fortitude that few can rival? So when you got to go into the lion's den and deal with adversity, you're more than capable of doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if any of us can definitively say we could deal with what Donald Trump dealt with.
She don't like black women because she did not put not one black woman on her platform. She went and got black itches. She went and got them rapping itches that shake their ass and pop their pussy.
And if they just say Trump bad, Democrats virtuous, they're going to keep losing because this, again, is so widespread. This is not about just Donald Trump. This is about the Democratic Party and being radically disconnected from the rest of the country. Look at the map.
The Democrats tend to do this from time to time. You know, Joe Biden wanted to run in 2016. You said it's Hillary's turn, okay? And then in 2020, it was Biden's turn, particularly after he was successful in South Carolina because Representative Clyburn got involved, et cetera, et cetera. The Democrats, I believe, make the mistake of trying to tell us whose time it is, as opposed to listening to the American people tell them, this is who we want. In 2008, Barack Obama elevated. It was supposed to be Hillary's turn. Yeah. American people on the left said, damn that, it's him. We want him. And as a result, he was a two-term president. And if you're a liberal, you absolutely positively loved Barack Obama, and he's one of the most popular presidents of all time because the people decided they wanted him, not the party.
But still, those were the swing states, guys. And you're blaming black men for this. And the reality was, why didn't you check everybody on the Democratic Party for why they can't compete? And again, this is going to be continuously a problem, blaming black men for everything instead of blaming the party that just can't compete. And they had the opportunity in the last 4 years.
Oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus. Oh, we got my president back. Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh.
You are the left. You leaned and you were a prisoner to the extreme left in a lot of people's eyes. Well, guess what? Most of America doesn't operate on the fringes. Whether you're left or you're right, you're relatively centrist. You believe in compromise, negotiation, working with one another. Nobody gets to get everything they want. The problem is those on the fringes continuously push for you to get everything you want.
Yeah.
They're not about getting things done. They're about getting their way.
The kids were greedy, and the American public didn't like that because in this nation, we like competition. He wasn't ready. And if you're not going to see him, you wanted to see her in a primary, but that didn't happen because by the time he stepped away, it was too late. So as a result, the road was paved for her to go up against Trump unabated. That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. You may not like hearing it, but that's what happened.
And if they're not going to get their way, they're about complaining and griping about it because they understand that when you are operating based off of grievance, that's usually what provokes you to get to the polls. And that is why they don't mind feeling aggrieved and displaying and disseminating that kind of message because they know people are going to gravitate to that. And as a result, that might get them to the polls, you thinking you're going to get what you want as a result of it. And in this particular case, the Republicans were right.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. All right, so apparently I played the wrong footage.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
I played the preview. I did not play the full thing. Hold up, chat. I thought I was.
We can say what
Hold
we
up, chat.
want about his character, whatever you want to say.
As negotiation.
Like black women.
If they're not going to get their way, they're about complaining and griping about it because they understand that when you are operating based off of grievance, that's usually what provokes you to get to the polls. And that is why they don't mind feeling aggrieved and displaying and disseminating that kind of message because they know people are going to gravitate to that. And as a result, that might get them to the polls, you thinking you're going to get what you want as a result of it. And in this particular case, the Republicans were right.
Now, let's get into this chat. We got a long show here. We have various sources and folks to listen to. Listen to is the key here. Because the problem with the Democrats is the Democrats went around thinking that they know better than everybody. Thinking that, oh, you're going to say something, we're going to silence you because we know better. We're going to pretty much be your parents. The left, Democrats, the Liberal Party, and they went entirely too damn left. Entirely too damn left. That's the problem. They're clueless. They're absolutely clueless. They think they know better than people. They think they can parent grown-ass adults. And look what happened at the polls. Oh! They got them cheeks slapped. It went real bad for Democrats because they want to silence everybody and tell people they know better than you. Shut the hell up. You don't know what's going on. Oh, it's just a bunch of people, a bunch of Trump supporters, a bunch of racists, rapists, bunch of terrible people that are voting for Trump, and it's like the majority of the country voted for Trump. He won the popular vote. Hold up, Chad. We got something right here too. This right here is filthy work. Before we get into the presentation, before we get into listening to the folks and telling y'all the reason why Trump won, because there's a lot to listen to here. Folks just want to tell people and wave their finger at people. Y'all have to sit back and listen. All right, so we got Keep Africa Passport Bro Free.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
So she was in my comment section saying black women have no friends. Why would you say that? Zed, why would you say that? Why would you say black women have no friends? Do you think that lowly of black women? Why do you put black women at the bottom? See them as the lowest while being a black woman? I don't understand that. It is so disappointing to see LTT.
Survey said
Stay off the weed.
LTTV. 4 letters. Come on, man. Y'all got to do better, man. Come on, man. Chat, how many people messed up my name? 4 letters, man. 4 letters, man. Y'all got to do better, man. Hardened comments propagating the racist, angry black women trope. We expect more from you. Okay, so what? Somebody called out Zed. Zed expounded on what comment I was specifically liking. The comment I liked was a comment saying they are angry, laugh my ass off, from Torrance Ingram. Torrance Ingram is one of the longest standing members, paying members on my channel. Paying members on my channel, all right? Supporting the channel. Someone called in, y'all feeds. What the fuck? Come on, man.
Get him out of here. He's got no place in here. Get rid of him. Okay.
All right, let's get back into this, y'all. Hold up. Let me pull up the specific article I'm referencing, because this is absolute filthy work. This is absolute filthy work. I made a community post on my channel. This is what's indicative of left behavior right now. This is exactly why the left lost. This is crazy. This is my channel. A person that is a staunch supporter of black women, black men, black people, all right? Hold up, chat. I got to pull up the post because we have to be very specific and correct here, because this was ridiculous. I seen this. I'm like, come on, man. This is exactly why the left keeps losing. And y'all want to just come here and just police everything. It's like, relax, buddy. Hold up, chat. Where is the post? Hey, yo, what's going on with me? Yeah, it was the post that I posted on my community tab. It said, to those getting triggered off his shorts with no commentary, because I was posting. Listen, y'all, I'm reporting and I'm posting shorts in relation to the election, the results, people's reaction, black women celebrating, black women screaming mad at it, black men celebrating, black men telling other black men they're coons for voting the other way, white men celebrating, white men devastated. I'm showing the array of everything, but people want to focus on certain things and get mad. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with folks? Thinking that I have an opinion based off of shorts that I'm showing reflecting what the hell has happened after the election. It's crazy. So I said, too emotional for the platform. I actually can't stand y'all. I can't stand folks like this. These people are too far left, and they're the reason why the left lost. So Torrance Ingram, long-standing member, put, they mad as hell, laugh my ass off. I hearted that comment. So that's the comment that she was referring to, because in the comment section, she expounds and says this. I got to pull it up on my phone because I didn't actually, this wasn't part of the presentation. I just have to, I got to comment on this, man, because this is ridiculous work out here. Hold up, chat. What did she say? Jesus Christ. Let me get my waiting music, chat. All right, chat. I ain't gonna lie. I'm struggling to find a comment. I'm struggling to find a comment. There's a lot of comments here. What the hell happened? I haven't even dropped material in a long time, but there's a whole heap of comments. I'm struggling to get through this one, chat. But she specifically pointed out the comment that she had a problem with, and it was that comment, because she says hardened comments propagating racist, angry, black angry trope, and she even said it. She even pointed out the specific comment. I'm like, wait, why? How is that propagating racist, angry black women? He said they mad as hell. Who are they? He's making a generalization of people that are mad as fuck at my posts. You said black women. I'm so confused at this. And the thing is, we know what Zed's doing. We know what Zed's doing. Zed, let me tell you that I'm in on it. I know what's going on here.
Oh, yes. The camera loves your nastiness.
Zed loves to run promos in my comment section. Loves to pop up acting like, oh, is there going to be a panel? And then she don't call in. She don't call in. She'd be like, is there going to be a panel? I'm like, yeah, panel's open. And yeah, no show. When she does that, she generally streams right after. She'll hop in my comment section, try to cause drama, and then stream after. It's like, you trying to, what are we doing out here? What the?
You are miserable.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
She don't like black women because she did not put not one black woman on her platform. She went and got black itches. She went and got them rapping itches that shake their ass and pop their pussy. She did not go get a woman that could talk. She did not get a black woman. She went and got black itches that know how to shake their ass and pop their tussies. She did not go get an upstanding black woman to speak to black people. I keep telling you, she did not go get upstanding black women to come talk to upstanding black people.
Survey said, all due respect, shut the hell up. I want to hear that.
Now, listen, man, I can't stand this motherfucker. I do not like Charleston White. People will tell me all day, cook me, go back and forth with me over my opinion over Charleston White. I do not like this motherfucker. He says egregious shit and stands on it like it's true. And then, what the hell is this? He does this extreme shit for clout chasing purposes, and then chastises others for doing the same thing. It's just all hypocritical.
No, you can't be that. That's hypocritical. That's hypocritical.
Man talks shit about rappers and the rappers' activities, and then he propagates the same shit. It's like, my nigga, shut up, man. No one wants to hear that shit. But him. The point that he's making, he really speaks to a large group of folks that think like him. At the end of the day, there's a large group of folks that think like him. That's why his audience is so big. So he's saying this shit, and we gotta listen.
She went and got Glorilla. Talk about moose knuckles. She went to go get Cardi B, who cheat on her husband.
Nah, he's not wrong about this. I don't like this motherfucker, but he's not wrong. This is who Kamala got in the fourth quarter. The Democrats were grossly unprepared. Joe Biden hung on to the ball too long. Pause.
Stick together.
Pause. He was supposed to relinquish the rights from time. He was supposed to be positioning Kamala for the presidency. But he held on too long, left her with half a campaign trail, and then they just winged it and act like they did something so great and they were devastated when they were lost. It's like, my nigga, how did you not see this coming?
Stick together. Pause.
She went to go get Megan Thee Stallion, who done slept with over. She went and got Megan Thee Stallion, the industry hoe who done slept with over. Oh, she went and got hoes and bitches to try to talk to black women. Oh, I can't wait to do a Say Cheese TV interview. She went and got hoes and bitches to talk to black women. My mama wouldn't dare listen to no woman that come out talking about Bodak Yellow. This ain't bloody shoe. This is bloody shoe.
Survey said, all due respect, shut the hell up. I want to hear that.
Although the point may be true, it's like, my nigga, she listens to you. It's like, what is this, bruh? Like, come on, man.
She went and got a retarded woman to shake her ass and pop her pussy that get bumps on her lips to talk to black women. HPV packing bitch. Oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus. Oh, we got my president back. Oh, we got my president back. Oh, I just fall to my knees and praise you, Lord. Oh, I just fall to my knees and thank you, Jesus. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm so goddamn happy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm so goddamn happy.
Right there, though. Oh my God, bro, is dick riding all you do?
No, I'm
like
saying
you literally got that nigga dick in your mouth right now. I see it.
Bro, Confederate flag talking about you gonna fall on your knees.
I am delivered.
Hey, yo, Charleston, man. What are we doing out here? Filthy work, bruh.
I don't think there's a universe where Donald J. Trump wins all 3 of the blue wall states.
She said this shit? Jesus, yo, this aged poorly.
Won him in 2016.
We're not in 2016.
No,
we have seen his reaction to COVID. We've seen January 6th insurrection. We've seen 2 impeachments. We've seen 34 felony convictions. This is not 2016.
If it was that close.
We've heard those 4 talking points ad nauseum. That's all. That's the problem with this. Is exactly why they lost.
We have seen his reaction to COVID. We've seen January 6th insurrection. We've seen 2 impeachments. We've seen 34 felony convictions. This is not 2016.
If it was that close, you guys should be putting this thing away if that was the case.
He just didn't win. He won for fun. He won the electoral. He won the popular vote. He got more votes than last time he was president. Just a total ringing endorsement for the Republicans and Donald Trump, and an indictment against the Democrats. And that's really this rant. A lot of people are asking, like, how did Trump get more votes than he got last time? Well, here's the answer. because people like myself, independents or moderates, the Democrats gave us no choice. The Democrats gave us no choice. That was the worst campaign, and their pure arrogance and their moral superiority have driven people away. If you say you're voting for Trump, suddenly you're a Nazi, you're Hitler, you're garbage. Enough. Enough.
We took it to another level. To a whole nother level. Yes, we did.
Hey, yo, liberals, Democrats, listen. Listen to the folks. This is the thoughts of most people. I told folks in the Discord, you can't shame folks into voting Democrat. They're going to stop arguing with you and show up at the polls and vote differently. I said this on air. I said this in the Discord. The shaming does not work when it comes to people investing in their future when it comes to voting. The identity politics, no one gives a shit about that. They care about their future. They care about the economy first and foremost, and they flubbed on that. The Democrats flubbed on that. It's crazy. But once again, we got to pull this back a little 10 seconds. We got to listen to this again.
Again!
Democrats got to hear this, man.
Have driven people away. If you say you're voting for Trump, suddenly you're a Nazi, you're Hitler, you're garbage. Enough. Enough. Like, yeah, I'm sure there's racists in the party, just like there's crazy people. And
yeah, but majority of the country voted for Donald Trump. They had a poll in Canada talking about, would you vote for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris? Overwhelmingly, Canadians voted for Donald Trump. Canada's a very liberal country. But when it comes to the politics right now, the liberals are fucking up. They're way too far left right now. So their time is coming up. Their time's coming up. But that's a big problem in North America. It's too far left. It's gotten too crazy. People want to return to normalcy. So if you don't have a strong enough candidate pushing that and speaking about the economy, people don't want to hear anything talking about demonizing Trump. The same 3 talking points y'all been pushing for the last 2 years. Like, what are we doing out here? Folks hear that and they're like,
nigga, please.
And racists in the Democratic Party, all right? But millions and millions and millions and millions.
Shout out to Jay the Informant with the 13-month membership. Shout out to you.
People vote for Trump. He won clear, he won decisive. So when you call us that, and when you say that, you're calling the majority of the country racist, Hitlers, Nazis. I don't think you get the words of what that means. You are alienating all this middle ground people by acting like you're better than us, smarter than us, and frankly, insulting our intelligence.
Now,
shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
When I see comments like this, I'm like, take your dumb ass to the BBC, take your dumb ass to Sky News in Australia, take your dumb ass to these other countries that cover your election. When they say these dumbass comments, like, shut the fuck up, man. Just because you don't have an idea of geopolitics doesn't mean we have to be stupid and focus on our country solely. What's wrong with these dumbasses, man? Get them the fuck out of here.
Trump's the threat to democracy. That was the entire Democratic campaign. It wasn't about policy because everyone knew we want change. We're not happy with the borders, the Middle East, the economy, inflation. And Kamala consistently said she was no different than Joe Biden, wouldn't do anything different than Joe Biden last.
That's the problem. Throw that motherfucker under the bus. There was plenty of times where Kamala, she was doubling down on the Joe Biden mistakes. The Joe Biden mistakes. It's like, throw him under the bus. You are a new president, or you would be a new president with new policies and your own new plans. Stop letting them throw Joe Biden shit on you and let them bury that Joe Biden shit on you. Shout out to Jay the Informant with the $2 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
David Pacaz lost over 1,000 subs after them Dems L. Yeah, over 1,000. What the fuck? He lost? I don't even know who the fuck that is, to be honest. That's why I struggle to pronounce the name.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
Over 1,000 subs over a Dem. How did that happen? How did that happen?
I'm getting rich.
Shout out to Mr. G with the $2 super chat. It's memeization of everything, says Mr. G. Shout out to Mr. G and shout out to Jay the Informant with the $2 super chats. All right, let's get back into this. Calm yourself, it's a joke. Well, yeah, calm yourself, it's a joke. It's just a joke. Yeah. Say a serious comment with no indicator that it's a joke. And yeah, it's just a joke. Yeah, so this is just a joke too. Bitch ass nigga.
Person in the room. Her pitch to the people was Trump is Hitler, Trump is bad, he's a dictator. Again, we're not stupid. The Democrats were the one who were saying Joe Biden was mentally fit for 2 years when he was a vegetable and couldn't even make it off stage from giving a speech. And the Democrats would lie to our face and say the videos were edited, altered. They weren't. Then, after the primary is over, they stage a coup, get rid of Joe, put in Kamala, and suddenly she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Same woman who ran for president got 0 votes. Same woman who can't even answer a question how she's different from Biden. Ran one of the worst campaigns I've ever seen. Just strictly, her entire campaign was fear-mongering. What would Trump as a dictator if he ended democracy? It's garbage. It's garbage. The people pulling this.
Oh, David Pacman. See, I'm dumb. I didn't even get that because you said David Pack-ass and yeah, I thought you were saying it's real. You know what? Never mind. Let's move on, man.
Strings in the Democratic Party, get rid of them. They've lost the plot. Tonight is on the Democrats. Congratulations, Donald Trump. I voted for him. And I felt I had no choice but to vote for him for the campaign that the Democrats ran. And it's not just white men.
And if they just say Trump bad, Democrats virtuous, they're going to keep losing because this, again, is so widespread. This is not about just Donald Trump. This is about the Democratic Party and being radically disconnected from the rest of the country. Look at the map.
Trump's reelection is a crushing blow to Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party that relied on a number of issues that ultimately fell flat with the American public, evidently. I'll get to the Democrats in a moment, but let's put Donald Trump's victory in perspective. He reclaimed the White House with a unique campaign that relied heavily on a voter turnout operation that focused on one familiar issue, the economy. In addition to that, the president-elect managed to peel votes away from once reliable Democratic support groups such as the Latinos and, of course, black men. If you look at that number right there in the CNN exit polls, the Hispanic vote for Trump increased by 13% from what it was in 2020 when he lost to President Joe Biden. With the black community, according to that same CNN poll, it increased by 5%. And obviously, when you hear 5%, you're automatically going to deduce that it was black men that ultimately hurt Kamala Harris. I tend to focus on the 13% because I think that when you are Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party,
when you have numbers like that, and then you have real close swing states, that 5%, that 13% is significant. It is significant. But beyond that, the popular vote, the Senate, he won everything. Clean sweep. Clean sweep. Shout out to Jay the Informant with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Jay the Informant says servers. I guess he meant serves David Packass, right? Making fun of them dead kids in a school. Wait, what the fuck? Harris paid him to be an online influencer, and he used fear to the polls as a strategy. That was the entire Democratic strategy. Fear mongering. Telling you how bad Donald Trump is. Folks are talking about, oh, we're gonna go back into slavery. I'm like,
nigga, please.
Trump was president for 4 years already. The fear mongering tactics it's ridiculous. The problem is, a lot of folks that voted for Trump damn well knew that he was telling a whole heap of lies. He was going through that campaign trail, pretty much pandering to certain people on the far right, like he did last time, and he didn't follow through with the things that he said. The police immunity that police think they're about to get, again, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Donald Trump understood with executive order that he signed that held police accountable for their assaults on black men. He understood that he lost a large base when it came to the police force and the military through some of his mistakes he did in the latter years of his presidency. So he definitely wanted to reconfigure that, pander to them folks, pretty much give them more than they're asking for, and get that vote. Putin issued a statement in regards to Donald Trump, talking about he wants to speak to him to resolve things. He I should have brought that statement up, that video up. He acknowledged that he understood that Donald Trump was lying through his teeth, through certain comments, to make sure that he got the job done. The problem with Democrats is they wanted everything. They wanted everything. They don't just want to win, they want everything. We're going to get to it, and it's going to be very well expounded upon by Stephen A. Smith in some of these comments in this breakdown. Let's get it, chat.
That's really what we have to do as we take a closer look as to what transpired. I'm going to say this before I get into any of that. Donald Trump's return to the White House is the greatest comeback probably in American history. 34 felony counts, 2 impeachments. I can't count the number of mistakes that he has made. When he departed in 2020 after the insurrection at the United States Capitol, we all thought he was finished. He was done. He went back to his hub at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, and the next thing you know, plotted a return to the White House that, regardless of what they tried to throw in his direction, nothing worked. Nothing worked. Now, we could say what we want about his policies, whatever they may be. We could say what we want about his character, whatever you want to say. But when you think about leaders, one of the primary elements you're looking for from them is fight. Are you somebody that has alligators?
This right here. Shout out to Roland Curtis, Los Angeles. This right here. This is the point. I ain't even going to read this. These folks need to read a little bit more to help them.
Skin and a level of intestinal fortitude that few can rival. So when you got to go into the lion's den and deal with adversity, you're more than capable of doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if any of us can definitively say we could deal with what Donald Trump dealt with and still end up back in the White House. He was definitely helped by Joe Rogan's endorsement in the wee hours before the election began.
This is the thing. Donald Trump went on Joe Rogan's platform, did what, 40, 50 million views? Kamala went on Shannon Sharp's platform with a very orchestrated PC-ass interview, and it bricked. It did no views. It did relatively no views. J.D. Vance on Joe Rogan did 10 times the views that Kamala did on Shannon Sharp's platform. And Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay was one of the biggest platforms this year. It had the Cat Williams interview, and she bricked on that platform.
Before Election Day began, that played a role. He had some celebrities supporting him. I don't think that played much of a role. But ultimately, his focus on the economy and inflation ravaging us all, combined with the border issues, immigration, and over 11 to 12 million migrants entering the country illegally and focusing on that, I thought that there were certain things that he did that were nothing short of brilliant. Now, I have been on the record stating on several occasions, the economy was one thing. I just talked to you about that. Immigration was another. I just talked to you about that. What about crime in the streets? When you look at New York City, when you look at Los Angeles, when you look at the fact that people were being talked to you about that. What about crime in the streets? When you look at New York City, when you look at Los Angeles, when you look at the fact that people were being arrested and the same day they were put in jail, they were getting out. And there seemed to be no punitive damage that was being suffered by those who were inflicting harm upon American citizens. What about that? Okay? And then we have to pay attention to woke culture and the cancel culture. Think about the commercials that Donald Trump was showing. Think about the commercials that involved Charlamagne the God and the Breakfast Club when they kept playing footage of Kamala Harris saying she was in support of
transgender operations taking place even for those incarcerated, while incarcerated. Think about that. Think about how they leaned on her appearing on The View, and when The View, a liberal outlet, very supportive of Kamala Harris, asked her a simple question of what, if anything, she would do differently from Joe Biden, she said there was nothing she could think of.
That's the issue.
These are the kind of things that I think hurt her.
Yep.
Okay? But I also lean on woke culture and cancel culture for this reason as well. They also brought up how somebody transitioning from being a male to a female were competing against women and young ladies, knowing that there were an abundance of people, not just on the right, but independents, who would not support that.
And the thing is, they always talk about, oh yeah, they're trying to take away women's rights, take away women's rights. It's like, what are we talking about here? Oh, the women are not protected. LeBron James with his filthy, egregious post. I'm like, Bron, come on, how you doing this to me, Bron? You gonna make me cook you on my platform, Bron? How we doing this, man? But it's like, you are putting women into position to get beat up and beat outclassed by men in sports that they have no reason being involved with, being with men in the sports. Whether it's just something physical, like that, not like physical like fighting, that is just let's say something like racing, something like swimming. Women are getting robbed of their opportunity at greatness. Something that involves physical combat, like fighting, that puts their health at harm's way, puts their health and their life in danger. So Trump definitely saying, yeah, we're putting an end to that immediately is something that normal people look at and like, yo, that's right. That's return to normalcy. Why are we allowing this to happen? I'm confused, man. Some of this shit is just, it's too far left. It's too far left, and they wanted to make it commonplace normal. And it's like, okay, so we're going to have dudes in women's bathrooms because they feel like women? It's like, nah, man. Nah, there should be a special bathroom for y'all. Enjoy your own bathroom. Everybody has right to access to a public bathroom, but why are men in there with women? It's like, what are we doing? That's not protecting women. But the Democrats wanted to talk about, oh yeah, the Republicans are removing women's rights. They don't want to protect women. It's like, nah, y'all are doing that, and it's in the policy, and people can see, and people could think for themselves, and y'all are not grown adults parents. Y'all need to relax, Democrats. Talking about they know better than everybody. It's like, even if you do, stop talking to folks in that tone. It's condescending, and people don't want to vote for that. It's like you're chastising, wrongly maligning them. Everyone's a grapist, a gracist. Sorry, I'm trying to censor myself. It's filthy work, man.
They weren't going to support that. They looked at something like that and they said, what the hell is wrong with us? They harkened back to years ago when you had people getting in trouble because instead of saying him or her or he or she, if you didn't say they, it was a violation.
And it is so far gone in Canada, it's ridiculous. It's damn near hate crimes for misgendering folks. There was a comedian that got charged for an act on stage. I'm like, what are we doing out here? This is too far left. Like,
and ultimately that could get you in some kind of trouble. At some point in time, people were looking at those things. Now, some people would say that had nothing to do with the outcome of last night's election. I beg to differ. But ultimately, what it does come down to is this. With all of those things transpiring, it gave the impression that the Dems were at the mercy of the progressives on the extreme left, which forced folks in the center to lean right.
That part right there. A lot of folks, including myself, years ago were liberal, Democrats. Well, I'm saying liberal because Canada, but I would have been Democrat as an American. But I definitely moved far to conservatives to the right side because of it. It's too far left. If I'm gonna put myself on a political spectrum, I'm just left of center. My ideology is just left of center. It's left of center. But for some reason, now my ideology is aligned more right because the left is too far left. They don't get it. They forced people onto the right. And we've been trying to tell folks that, but they don't want to listen. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't support, there's folks that are voting for Pierre Poilievre that don't even know his name in Canada just to get away from Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. They don't get it. They don't get it.
And force the right to harden their stances even more. And what did you see as a result? There was no blue wall, ladies and gentlemen. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, etc. No. They talked all evening that if North Carolina and Georgia went to...
Even comments like this. Women in the chat that they disagree. So what you're going to do is yawn, shake your head, like... So this is the problem. This is exactly why people... No one wants to deal with this shit, y'all. Y'all don't get it. It's like you can't even have an opinion that is not yours. You got to control everyone's opinion. You can have your opinion. You can tell me why you disagree with your opinion, but just simply go, oh, I disapprove. Boring, tight. Like, what are we doing out here? Like, make it make sense.
Donald Trump, the only way Kamala Harris would have a chance to win the election is if she won Pennsylvania. And she lost that too. I expected a tough, tight race. What we witnessed was an annihilation. An annihilation. This was supposed to last, this debate about the election and how many votes, it was supposed to last probably until Thursday, Friday, maybe even into the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, Fox News called it at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. we knew that Donald Trump had won back the White House. It was that kind of a romp, that kind of an annihilation. There are many, many things to insult Donald Trump about. There are many times we could have done it in the past. We can't do it today.
Listen, y'all, if I don't see an ad, I automatically assume you coming for me, bruh.
Oh, somebody, oh.
If I don't see an ad, I'm like,
Again!
It's coming for me, man. That's what it is. If y'all don't add, I'm assuming. All right, I'm running the show. I'm thinking that I'm the main character here.
Oh my mama, nigga.
So come on, man. Shout out to Anthony Nelson with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Anthony Nelson says, I've been saying this for 4 years. Got too liberal too quickly. Shout out to Anthony Nelson. Yeah, man, they tried to expedite the process of their policies. It's like, oh, we got y'all cool with this. Okay, so now we're gonna go entirely too far and start forcing men in women's bathrooms. Let's start forcing men in here and start claiming that we're infringing on women's rights if we don't agree to this. And it's like, wait, how does that make sense? Like, it's just a bunch of weird mental gymnastics over there. But let's get back into this.
The damn thing we could say, America has spoken. The Republicans have the White House. They have the Senate, by the way. They won back the Senate. They flipped it. And they're probably going to retain the House. They had it from 2017 to 2019. They got it back again. America has spoken. America has spoken. By the way, look at this cover on Vanity Fair, please. Take a look at this. With Trump's face, 34 felony counts, 1 conviction, 2 cases pending, 2 impeachments, 6 bankruptcies.
And still the president of the United States. Like, what are we doing out here?
4 more years. And the 47th American president for the United States of America. What do you say? What do you say?
Most of us have been up all day and all night looking at the election, and of course, Donald Trump won. I've been spending a lot of time on my community tab trolling people, but I want to get more or less to the point in this video. A lot of people, especially black women, I have noticed, are blaming black men for the reasons why Kamala Harris lost. I'll be going into more detail about
the whole blaming black men for Kamala's loss is exactly why Kamala lost. This is exactly why. It's the blaming, the shaming, the entitlement to the vote. Black men went out there and voted for Republican more than for, I don't even know if they ever voted that much in my lifetime. But it doesn't matter. more black men voted for Kamala Harris. Was it 75% of black men voted for Kamala Harris? Yeah, 1 in 4 black men voted for Donald Trump, but 75%? So are you that entitled to the black vote you couldn't get anybody else's vote? You couldn't go out there and appeal to or speak to other communities to try to get their vote, as condescending as you did to black men, as entitled as you did to black men? I would love to see the Democrats go to other communities as entitled and speak to them and speak down to them the way they spoke to black men. It was egregious. I had to cover it. It was filthy work. I'm like, yo, who the fuck are they talking to like this? I'm like, American black men, y'all gonna take this?
Oh! About this in subsequent videos. But there was one lady who was so shocked and hurt that Donald Trump lost.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
She literally felt that she's going back into slavery.
Yo, I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up a mother slave.
You are scared to go to sleep? You might wake up a slave?
What?
You turned on your phone consciously and started saying, yeah, I'm gonna record this. And just, like, what are we doing out here? And this isn't insanity? This isn't too far extreme? Like, what do we, come on, man. Wake up a slave? How?
Y'all, like, why are y'all Trump supporters? Like, why? Why are y'all Trump supporters? Like, why is this a thing right now? Why is this okay?
Whoops.
I can't do this no more. I should have kept my vote to myself because I knew it didn't.
I'm getting rich.
Shout out to Kiara Hart with the $5 super chat. Kiara Hart says, voting for a black woman just because she's a black woman is how Tiffany Hinyard became the city girl mayor. Dalton County got screwed because of her. That is facts. All that super mayor bullshit. Just vote for her because she's black. Look at Fannie Willis. I don't even know how she got reelected. I don't even know how that happened. But Fannie Willis tripping with these state RICOs. She's ruining the win percentage of RICO cases. She's flubbing and failing on state RICOs, and it's egregious, filthy work. Welcome home, young thug. Fannie Willis, filthy work, bruh. Voting just because you're black, it's like your life, your family, your country is on the line, and just be, oh, we're black, we're gonna, no, you actually have to be like what Obama was. Folks voted for Obama just because he was black, but there was a lot of substance behind what the hell Obama was bringing to the table. Folks still voted for him just because he's black, but that is a mistake just to do that. You want to align and give people the benefit of the doubt and be like black first and all that, but just because they're black, but they can be dense, they can be a short bus shorty, they can be one of those folks. I'm not saying Kamala Harris is that. I'm saying nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that at all. Kamala didn't have a fair, I'm not saying fair. Yeah, she didn't have a fair, but that's Joe Biden's fault. She didn't have a full campaign run. She didn't win. She didn't win amongst the Democrats to be selected. She was the appointed vice president who lost to Joe Biden, and now she's getting appointed while not throwing Joe Biden's policies and his mistakes under the bus, acting like it's 4 more years of Biden, and folks did not want that. So she made a lot of mistakes here.
I knew it didn't.
But the most shocking video was this particular young lady who obviously will not be banned from TikTok and will not be banned at all. Is a lady by the name of Miss Chambers 8. Now the things that she has to say
All right, before we get into that video, can we get these likes up, chat? These likes are rather dusty. Can we get these likes up? Let's get it.
About black men are so egregious, you have to listen for yourself.
I know some of you out there voted for Trump. Because I know it wasn't black women. I know when the results come out, it's going to show that like 99.8%, because there's a 0.2% maybe of black women that might have voted for Trump. But it's going to show 99.8 voted for Kamala.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Yeah, very incorrect, but let's continue.
But I know when them polls come out and it show how black men voted, ooh, I know y'all gonna disappoint us once again. Y'all always letting us down. Y'all the most disappointing ass race of niggas I have ever seen in my life. My God. Oh my God. Like, the amount of ignorance. Like, I don't want to hear from nobody about the economy. I don't want to hear about nothing. Y'all don't know how economy works. Y'all don't know how civics, none of that work. Like, y'all clearly don't know how none of this shit work. Like, y'all don't know nothing how none of that shit work. Like, we are going to be so up. We about to be so up. Like, I'm trying not to be mad. Like,
okay, so black women represented 6% of the vote. Black men represented 4% of the vote. Black women voted overwhelmingly for Kamala Harris, but more black women than last time more black women voted for Trump this time than last time against Biden. So
we about to be so, like, I'ma just pray that I go to sleep tonight and my God is a miracle worker in the morning. And something happened, and I don't know. Late polls, late ballots, I don't know. Where is Olivia Pope? She gonna pull something, I don't know. Something's going to happen and Kamala's gonna be president. You still gonna be done let us down, but again, black women save the day and all will be well in the world again. But I stand on how I feel, and I can't stand y'all. Word of God, I know y'all voted for Trump. And I'm talking about the ones that voted for Trump, and I'm not talking about y'all that didn't vote for Trump. If you stood down, 10 toes down, and you voted for Kamala, I love you, my black brother, and I'm going to always have y'all back. But for y'all Trump supporters, if y'all get shot in the street, I won't be marching, posting, retweeting, not a god thing. I swear to God. Now you have the night you deserve.
So if you were listening to some of the things that she was talking about, you black men are so disappointing. You guys don't know civics. You don't know this. And, you know, for those of you black men who voted, I salute you. But if you voted for Trump,
first of all, who is listening to women that speak down to men like that? As black men in the community, who is listening to that? I hope you get shot dead. What type of rhetoric is that? Just because we don't listen to your rhetoric when it comes to who we want to vote for? I think that's crazy.
Then if one of you guys gets shot in the streets, then don't look for my support. And again, this is the attitude from black women like this, that, let me just say this, and to be fair and blunt, nobody cares, all right? You never wondered why or asked why these black men voted for Donald Trump. What were their issues? Because for you, it didn't matter. You said that black men didn't know civics, but if they voted for Kamala Harris, it still wouldn't have mattered if they knew civics, because they voted for Kamala Harris. I mean, here we are treating black men as if they are infants.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson with this.
Not people. But again, if you vote for Kamala Harris and, you know, black women ruling the world, as you say, then everything is okay. But if you don't, you're a disappointment, and I hate you N-words, and if something happens to you, then we're not going to help you. Well, if something happens, then you're not going to be able to help them anyway, because it already happened. And no black man wakes up in the morning looking for Miss Chambers 8 on TikTok to help them or to protect them, okay? But see, here's what Miss Chambers 8 didn't do. She never asked black men what are their particular reasons to why they want to vote for Trump and not Kamala Harris. Brother Mark Cruz is going to break down why he voted for Trump.
Oh, yeah. We definitely have to talk about this right here. Because according to the New York Times poll, the former president, Donald J. Trump, has 25% of the black male vote. Therefore, Kamala Harris should be embarrassed for being the tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act. That is not a lie. That is not propaganda. That is not misinformation. That is a fact. Kamala Harris, along with Joe Biden, put out policies that was out of order. And to this day, a lot of men and women are paying their hard-earned taxes for their open borders. There are 3 issues that are important to men when it comes to this election. Number 1, the economy. Number 2, immigration. Number 3, inflation. But if you ask me, the immigration issue caused inflation. I'm going to say it now like I said before. If you want more, vote Trump 2024. Let's go.
He gave 3 reasons: the economy, immigration, and inflation. What did he say? I believe that immigration is helping the rise of inflation. Now, while that might not be proven, there is some proof that immigration has led to unemployment. Okay, that is one thing that we don't know. Economists have argued back and forth over this, but it's a really good assessment. Some economists have said this. So again, he has given his reasons without talking down on black women that vote for Kamala Harris. He's not insulted any black women that voted for Kamala Harris, nothing. But why is it when, a black man decides to vote for Donald Trump, oh, well, you gotta, your knees is shabby, or your ankles is dry. Look at you, your dry ankle ass. Like, that's not what nobody is saying, but you keep hearing this from these women that are talking down to black men. And it's like, hold on, wait a minute. Now, I ain't gonna lie. If this was like 10 years ago, I'll be like, look, I'm gonna get down in the dirt with you. But you know what? Now when I hear people talk like that, I'm like, you know what? Something is seriously wrong with this individual.
Because listen, there's a problem. When you see the staunch Trump supporters and the folks talking about why they support Trump and why they're voting for Trump or why they voted for Trump, it's always something in alignment to what the hell he's bringing to the table. They're not telling you, oh, you're dumb for doing this, you're an idiot, you're uninformed, you don't know shit, you're trying to send us back to these times. You don't hear that from that side as it pertains to Kamala. But from the other side, the Democratic side, they're always telling people about themselves when they don't have their support. It's like, that's not the way to get support. It's not the way to garner any type of support by telling them they're ignorant, they're stupid, belittling them. Oh, you're a coon. All that stuff to get the vote. It's like, it's not going to work.
I have to go ahead and take the higher route and pray for you, because now with that particular attitude, I already know how you're going to do well in life. But Brother Phil Scott, I believe he was streaming last night when Kamala Harris was losing. He had this to say.
Vice President Kamala Harris, it's not looking good for you at all. It's not looking good. Now you see why these strategists are saying, man, we thinking she may lose. Now do y'all see why people think that she may lose now? Because I'm seeing more black people vote for Trump, Cornel West, I've seen people vote for him, Jill Stein, and the couch. That is the candidates that's against Harris. Couch, Trump, Stein, Cornel West, some states, Robert Kennedy, okay? And all the fanfare of the Democrats, all the celebrities, Beyonce. I mean, you brought everything you could bring out, right? You brought out Obama. You brought out Michelle. You brought out everybody you could. And people still not showing up. You did a whole concert in Atlanta with Megan Thee Stallion.
Every person that she brought out hurt her campaign. When Obama came out and he spoke to black men that were in support of Kamala already, it was a campaign trail for Kamala. A bunch of dudes with the Kamala sticker on them, their shirts, and all Kamala support with the flags and everything. This guy went to these black men and spoke down to them, tried to shame them, called them misogynist for not supporting Kamala when they overwhelmingly supported Kamala. He hurt her campaign trail. Bringing Meg Thee Stallion out to twerk, why would that help? Glorilla's song, which had to be edited like crazy, why would that help? Like, everybody she brought out hurt the campaign trail. Cardi B's egregious moment with the teleprompter, where the teleprompter wasn't ready and she could not even speak from her heart with any genuine thoughts about why she supports Kamala Harris. Those moments mattered. Everything looks super disingenuous. All the interviews were super methodically placed where the questions were asked in a specific way where she was able to just get off all the answers she wanted. It wasn't like a real engaging human conversation. Complete mismanagement. They stood out there with their chest out thinking they did something. It was just bad, man. It was bad.
And people still not showing up. She did tonight this speech. They said, you know, talking about her closing argument and all of that. And nobody not worried about her. Because you heard one speech from her, you didn't heard them all. What is she going to say that's so significant in that speech that you're going to say, oh, okay, man, yeah. She repeating the same thing.
Now, let me build on what he was saying, okay? The Democrats have all of the influence, all the black support. They have LeBron James. They have Cardi B. They have everybody. They still lost. Why is that? Let's look at some of the black support that happened in some of the swing states, okay? Now, it wasn't that the black support was so great, but it was enough to go toward the other end. All right. If you look at a state like Georgia, 2020, you had 88% blacks voting Democrat and Republicans 11%. 2024, you had 86% voting Democrat and Republicans 12%, a 1% point gain. Now, that doesn't sound like very much, but when you have millions of votes, a percentage point can be like 20,000, 30,000 votes. And then if you don't have the 2% gain you had in 2020, that leads to a whole bunch. And again, just like Brother Phil said, if those people stay home, then you don't get that. All right? Let's look at Michigan. In Michigan, too.
Yeah, these swing states, marginal victories. Marginal by percent point, 2 percentage points. If you have a 2% swing, meaning you gain 2% support and they lose 2% in a swing state, that's massive. And that's why she lost Wisconsin. That's why she lost Pennsylvania.
2020. Democrats were 92% of the vote, Republicans were 7%. This year, Democrats were 90% and Republicans 9%. It doesn't seem like a big gain, but it is a big gain, okay? Because Michigan, Trump barely won. That means a lot of blacks, even in Wayne County and counties like that where you have Detroit, he didn't win, but it was significantly enough counts there to be like, okay, well, by the time, you know, like 95% of the vote was in, and she was down by 150,000 votes, there was no way for her to come back because people in Michigan were just tired of the Biden administration. The same thing happened in North Carolina. 2024, Republicans 7%, Democrats 92%, okay? Now, Democrats 87%, Republicans 12%. Now, what this number doesn't tell you is how many of these black women also switched. See, y'all not talking about that. It's all the black men. Oh, I know black women didn't vote. BS. Black women also voted and helped Trump. He got more black women support too. And in North Carolina, you had a 5% loss on every side. Republicans gave 5%, Democrats lost 5%. That's a 10% swing. Pennsylvania, 2020, 7% black, 92% blacks for Democrats. Republicans 10%, Democrats 89%. Again, that's
a massive swing in a swing state. You can't lose support like that. That's crazy.
That's not a huge difference that you think looking at it, but it is big enough to swing a state. And that's exactly what they did. They swung a state. And in Wisconsin, it was evident. Republicans were 8% of the vote that were black in 2020. Democrats 92%. This year, Republicans that were black were 21%, a 13 percentage point shift towards Trump. And Democrats were 77%.
That's crazy. That wow.
Was crazy. You cannot win an election like that. Now in Nevada already has a lot of black Trump supporters, you know, but still, those were the swing states, guys. And you're blaming black men for this. And the reality was, why didn't you check everybody on the Democratic Party for why they can't compete? And again, this is going to be continuously a problem, blaming black men for everything instead of blaming the party that just can't compete. And they had the opportunity in the last 4 years. What did they do with it? They did not perform. So now you want to reward people for not performing? That's politics. Either you perform in business or you get replaced. Biden's administration got replaced. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson. Back at it again.
Now let's take a closer look at the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris, who was thrust into the race with less than 110 days to secure the White House. Harris called Donald Trump.
You hear that? Less than 110 days to secure the White House. This is what I'm talking about. Biden held on for too long. Half of the race was Biden versus Trump, and then you switch in a competitor halfway through, and they raised an enormous amount of money for their campaign, but it wasn't enough time. It wasn't enough time for us to ingratiate ourselves with... People don't even know Kamala. They're like, oh, we know Trump's a liar, he's doing X, Y, and Z, but they don't even understand. They don't even know who Kamala, the real person, is. A lot of people don't even know if she's black fully. There's still a debate if she's black. Her mom is full Indian. Her dad is half black, half white. Allegedly, that's what they're saying. So it's like she's like a quarter black, and folks are coons for not supporting her. Like it's crazy work out here. It's just crazy work.
This afternoon to concede the race to the president-elect. By the way, that's something that Trump never did 4 years ago when he lost to Joe Biden in 2020. But let's talk about Harris and her overall performance in this election, okay? In fairness, I don't think anybody should be laying the party's loss at her feet. I'm going to say that up front, okay? There were missed opportunities from the White House and the Democratic Party, no doubt, but I'm not going to lay it at her feet. Before I even get into it, here's a look at my top 5 reasons, again, why the Democratic Party lost this presidential election. Look at it for yourself. The economy, immigration, crime, the woke culture. That last one, no primary candidate, okay? Let me go down the list. I already brought up how she missed opportunities. Remember when y'all got on me? Because I was sitting here talking about how she needed to make herself available and go out there and enter enemy territory and go out there and do interviews that wasn't rife with fluff.
Yep.
Remember I said that?
All that fluff.
Remember
exactly.
I said that Donald Trump was pointing to the war between Ukraine and Russia, or the Israeli-Palestinian conflict involving Hamas and Hezbollah. Remember I brought up all of that? And I said that Trump would literally use that and engage in some degree of chauvinism because he's going to say, I'm here, I'm doing interviews with everybody. Where is she at? Remember that? And then suddenly everybody caught on. Eventually. I've been saying all along, she couldn't avoid it. You're the vice president of the United States. You should be on top of all of these issues. You should be ready to do interviews at a moment's notice. I'm not saying she didn't know the issues. I think she was overly sensitive to not coming across as if she threw Joe Biden under the bus. But here's the thing.
Throw that nigga under the bus.
Did Joe Biden deserve to be thrown under the bus? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Let me tell you why. In 2020, he wins election. When he wins the election in 2020, Joe Biden promised to be a transitional president. He called himself a stopgap, an individual that was looking to pave the way for future candidates coming down the pike.
Joe Biden went on Charlemagne the God's, not even his podcast. He went on the Breakfast Club. Not even on the podcast. He went on the big platform. He went on the Breakfast Club and said, if you do not vote for me, you are not black. As a senior citizen, as an elder white man, he told the audience, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And folks still voted for him. Folks still voted for him.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
He knew that come time for re-election, he would be 81, approaching 82 years of age. He knew that. What's he going to do, stay in office till 86? He gave us the impression that wasn't what he was going to do.
Yep.
What did he did after? What he did was, the midterms came about. And it was supposed to be some red wave with a bunch of Republicans winning seats in the Senate and in the House. It didn't happen. So because of that, since he was the incumbent, he was feeling himself because look at how many seats were retained or captured by the Democrats. And as a result, he could stay in office, he could stay in power, and he decided he wasn't going to walk away. And when he decided he wasn't going to walk away, all hell broke loose. Because we saw health debilitating. His fastball, per se, not necessarily being there. And if we saw it on June 27th when he went on the stage to debate against Donald Trump, they damn sure saw it beforehand. They saw it, but they couldn't tell us because they weren't going to dime him out.
Bro, look at him.
I've seen him do it.
This is a presidential debate. He was trying to ride through another campaign. He was halfway through and he's like, nah, I'm way too old, man. Everyone's like, bro, you're like, what is going on, bro? You're malfunctioning on stage numerous times. Lost, fucking up speeches, not even knowing where the hell you are. Like, it got real bad for Biden. It's like, really? You took half of the campaign trail that Kamala would have had allotted after you were selling folks a dream about dropping down or stepping down.
So it's all able to be deduced at this particular moment in time. They knew what was coming on. They knew what was going on. They weren't going to dime him out. They weren't going to expose him like that. So they let him expose himself on the debate stage. Then 3.5 weeks later, he ultimately stepped away and she became the presumptive Democratic nominee. But what also came with that? What also came with that was the skids were greased. And the American public didn't like that. Because in this nation, we like competition. We want to see him in a primary. Then we would have knew before June 27th, he wasn't ready. And if you're not going to see him, you wanted to see her in a primary. But that didn't happen because by the time he stepped away, it was too late to entertain Dean Phillips or anybody else as a potential Democratic nominee. So as a result, the road was paved for her.
And when the road is paved,
to go up against Trump.
Yeah, when the road is paved and you're not winning a primary, the people aren't picking you. You're just appointed, and then we're supposed to just ride the wave of just supporting you. That's a losing battle. That is a losing battle. What did she lose by 5 million votes in the popular vote?
Unabated. That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. You may not like hearing it, but that's what happened. That, however, didn't play nearly as big of a role as two things. Number one, the economy. Black folks and minorities. You know what our definition of a good economy is? The value of our dollar and the dollars in our pocket. We don't want to hear inflation ain't the same. It's dipped 2%. If we can't tell when we go to the gas station, when we go to buy some milk and bread, when we go to the grocery store to buy groceries, if we can't tell, we don't want to hear shit about an economy that's improving. Where's the evidence? Trump locked in on inflation and how the value of our dollar had diminished before our very eyes. He didn't bring up his role in it prior to Biden arriving. Smart of him not to.
Y'all think that the American dollar took a hit? Do y'all see how weak, pathetic the Canadian dollar is right now? Bro, come on, man. Come on, man. The liberals, man, they fucking everything up, man.
But nevertheless, he focused on that. And the Democrats wouldn't acknowledge but so much how bad it truly, truly was. But that all pales in comparison to immigration. Why is immigration so important? Because from the moment Biden got in office, he opened the floodgates. There was no wall built. There was no lines of demarcation to prevent folks from coming across the border. He opened the borders because he was capitulating to the extreme left.
That's the issue. The problem with the liberals, they're capitulating to the extreme left. Do you know how many motherfuckers Obama deported? Obama was getting motherfuckers out of there right, left, and center. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure that Obama deported more motherfuckers than Trump did. I'm pretty sure Obama was getting motherfuckers the fuck out of here. So I don't even know why Biden was like, what are we doing, Biden? And then Kamala doubled down on his policies, didn't throw him under the bus. How do you expect to win?
Damn near his first week in office with a bunch of executive orders. And as a result of that reality, you had people fresh off of trying to overcome all the noise and the chaos that Trump had created to go into, oh, damn, what is this about? That is what happened. He opened the borders. And you know what made it even worse when Biden opened the borders, ladies and gentlemen? It was exactly what Obama didn't do. Obama didn't advertise it, but did you know that Obama deported more illegal immigrants than Trump did?
Okay.
Obama deported so many folks.
I've seen him do it.
They called him the deporter-in-chief. That's what they said about him. That was a Democrat in office who did it and was still popular amongst liberals. So you're Biden, why would you go against that and do the polar opposite? Yet he did. And as a result, the right was able to look at our streets being overcrowded, and any immigrant damn near caught getting a ticket for some reason or another was highlighted and illuminated. See what they're doing to our country? And you sort of backdrop, and it didn't even have to be true. It didn't matter. You sort of backdrop, and then you looked at the streets of Los Angeles, the streets of New York City, San Francisco, let's not forget that. And you said, is that what you want your country to look like? Is that what you want taxpayer money funding? And they had them. That, with Biden's slippage, there was no way in hell he was going to beat Trump. So here comes Kamala Harris. And her moment in the sun is to acknowledge that. And to veer left, or right rather, and go in an entirely different path than Biden was going. And she didn't do it. That was point number 2. Let me tell you what point number 3.
I'm getting rich.
Shout out to Random University. Random University says Joe Biden is pretty much Aaron Rodgers.
God damn.
Random University said Biden is the old QB they thought would retire in the offseason, but finally realized he was washed up a day before the season started and retired. Yep. That's who Joe Biden was, man. He's pulling a Vinny Testaverde out there, just staying on the field entirely too long. Like, bro, pack it up, man. Retire, man. Retire. Like, what are we doing out here? You're ruining your legacy, bro.
3 was. All these celebrities, Taylor Swift, Michelle Obama, Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Oprah. The list went on and on and on. Let me tell you what the problem with all of that was. Let's not forget LeBron James.
Hold up, chat. This list, man. This list is... See, Taylor Swift is the most disrespectful celebrity of all time. Let me tell y'all what Taylor Swift did. Taylor Swift, there's a street in Toronto called Blue Jays Way, right by the Rogers Center, which used to be the Sky Dome. Blue Jays Way. Taylor Swift comes to do her concert, right? She's selling out the entire Rogers Center, the whole stadium, massive show. The tickets are like in the nosebleeds. The tickets are $3,000 to $4,000.
Nasty bitch.
She renamed Blue Jays Way Taylor Swift Way. So when we go downtown in Toronto, we see Taylor Swift Way instead of Blue Jays Way. What the fuck is going on?
God damn.
This is filthy work. We just completely rolled out the carpet for Taylor Swift to completely just victimize us. This is filthy work.
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
Nosebleeds $4,000, ma'am. Are you trying to make a tour's worth of money in one show? What are we doing out here? What are we doing? LeBron James, God damn it, Bron. God damn it.
Even though he just put out a tweet. Let me tell you what the problem with that was.
See, Eminem is a recurring Democrat supporter. Eminem was out there when Diddy was doing those vote or die campaigns. Those are the only time you've seen Eminem and Diddy align. When he was out there cussing people, talking about, oh, you ain't X, Y, and Z if you're not voting Democrat. He pretty much pulled the Joe Biden. But let's get back into this.
Michelle Obama giving a speech in Kalamazoo where she skillfully and brilliantly detailed reproductive rights. Wasn't talking about abortion. She was talking about reproductive rights for women. Fair enough. But then she added a line by saying a vote for him was a vote against us. Don't believe what I'm saying? Take a listen.
We are the ones.
Hold up, chat. Before we get into that, shout out to Kiara Hart with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Kiara Hart says, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they named the city Swiftburg when she came. Oh, the whole city? The whole city?
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
Hey, yo, come on, man. The meat hugging, pause. She don't have because she woman. But nonetheless, man, Taylor Swift be coming into the cities and just bending folks over. Renaming the whole thing. Like, what are we doing out here? Just pegging the. Like, come on, man. Everyone's just bending over for Taylor. Like, what are we doing, bruh?
With the knowledge and
Hey, yo, pause. Someone's gonna snip. Yo, hold up.
Stick together.
Pause. I gotta be aware of folks clipping shit when you say shit in the wrong, most zestiest way. We can't be doing that out here. We can't be doing that out here.
Stick together. Pause.
experience to know what we need. So please, the ones with the knowledge and experience to know what we need. So please, do not hand our fates over to the likes of Trump, who knows nothing about us, who has shown deep contempt for us. Because a vote for him is a vote against us, against our health, against our worth.
You see what Michelle Obama said right there? I'm here to tell you that I believe if Michelle Obama was running, she would have won this election by a landslide. She's that popular. She's that skilled. She's a brilliant orator. She's a wonderful woman, the greatest first lady I think this country has ever seen. But when she added that line, how do you think American citizens felt? So in other words, if we don't agree with you, we're against you.
Exactly. That's the problem with the Democrats. This far left shit it's entirely too controlling. You can't have your own opinion. You're automatically against their opinion. Like, you're against them, not just their opinion. You're against them. You want physical harm done to them if you don't agree with them. That is Democrats across the board when it comes to any type of issue. They're trying to shut down platforms. You can have your own platform speaking to your own your own fan base. Let's use more simple terms out here. We're struggling. Speaking to your own fan base, all right? They would come and try to control it. Not only have an opinion on your shit, like the way, okay, perfect example. Actually, no, we're not going to do this example. This might go left.
You're a victim.
Here we go, CSI.
I thought it over as I was about to articulate it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this wasn't a good example. Why am I so trash at examples? What the hell's going on with me? Let's get back into this, man. Fuck my diatribe. Let's get back into this chat.
Didn't affect me because I'd already voted for Kamala Harris. Might not have affected most women, maybe some. How'd you think the men felt about that? So we have to do what you tell us to do, otherwise we're anti-you.
Yeah.
Thought that worked?
It's crazy.
Do y'all know anything about most men? Think that's gonna work?
That was pretty much the sentiment of Zed when she posted that thing about me all of a sudden this, right here. This is exactly why. We expect more from you. For what? Expect more from me? Who am I to you? That's why I don't even... I liked a comment saying something, they're mad, and all of a sudden this is what happens. It's controlling. It's like, it's not only just agree with me, it's basically be subservient to these motherfuckers. It's crazy. If I have a video, this is a perfect example. If I have a video and I'm calling out an individual black woman and telling people, oh, this woman is dusty for this reason, and this reason. Oh, LT hates black women, and if you don't take down this video, and if you're putting videos like this, you hate black women. It's like, no, I'm speaking individually about a black woman, a specific black woman. She doesn't represent all black women just because she's one person. So by those standards, I can look at somebody like Zed and say, you hate all black men. Because when you call out dusties like Floyd and Rello, who don't represent the bulk of black men, we can say you hate black men because that is the ire of your focus. It's crazy. When Duke, Kiara Hart says, sounds like Duke. When Duke says a blanket statement about black women, he's targeting black women. He's not talking about a specific black woman. He's like, black women are X, Y, and Z. Oh, the white women, you get it back, you don't come. That speech that he had like a couple years ago, that speech, that's specifically at black women. That's not at a black woman. The way the Democrats try to control speech is by saying if you target one individual, you are targeting the whole group. So now you can't speak on that, or you hate this, or we're going to wrongly malign you and try to cancel you to control your speech. So you can't criticize an individual black woman because if you do, you hate black women. That's asinine. That's idiotic. Who's going for that? That's the problem. It's controlling as fuck. We don't only have to accept your opinion, we have to get rid of our opinion and conform to yours.
How about this one from Oprah? Take a listen.
If we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again. And let me be very clear. If you do not make sure that the people in your life can get to the polls, that is a mistake. Deciding not to decide, that is most definitely a vote to let other people control your future.
Civil Rights Act of 1964, Voting Rights Act of 1965, been in place since 1965. That's spanning more than nearly 60 years, okay? And you're gonna look an audience in the face and you're going to tell them that if you vote for Donald Trump, you may not ever be able to cast a vote again.
They keep the fear-mongering fuckery when they try to spin his words and try to say, oh, he won't ever have to vote again because he'll remove the constitutional right for voting, the process to even take place. So we're going to be stuck with Republicans forever. But it was the dumbest. The way the Democrats tried to lie to you and try to tell you you're stupid and you're ignorant for not agreeing and listening to their dumbass lies, it's pathetic, man. And it's divisive. And if everybody... you know what? Let's just play this. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Who believed that? Who believed that coming from Oprah? Truly, who believed that? This is the kind of stuff that alienates an electorate, that alienates a vote or a voter. Because the freedom that you tell them they have, you try to confiscate morally by letting them know you ain't worth a damn unless you vote the way we say you should vote. Who's going to go for that?
Yep. It's ridiculous.
In a general election.
It's ridiculous.
With an economy rife with inflation. With over 12 million people coming crossing the borders. With people wondering about their dollars. The dollars that they earn, the dollars that they have in their pocket, the value of that dollar dissipating before our very eyes. But in the same breath, you're telling them that you got to take even more money out of their pocket to finance immigrants that come all across the border illegally.
And you got to understand. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
At the behest of the Democratic Party, looking to secure a voting bloc. Did you think that would work? Did you think that would work? Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris wasn't perfect, but she worked her you-know-what off to try to make this happen. And to be quite honest with you, she didn't do too much that was wrong. I actually feel sorry for her because she busted her tail and did all that she could in those 110 days that she had available.
Exactly. The 110 days. Because when he said he felt sorry for her, I'm like, I kind of feel sorry for her too. She had such a small time gap to run a presidential campaign. They raised an enormous amount of money. She had an enormous amount of support, but she didn't have time to ingratiate herself with the American public. It's for people to understand and know who she is as an individual. And she's running against Trump, who already spent 4 years in office, who was famous prior to being in office. He's Donald Trump. So it's like, it was not, that's not fair. That's one thing I can give her.
She might could have done some things differently.
Yeah, it's Biden's fault, man. She should, especially the fact that Biden crippled her with the amount of time that she had to run. She should have definitely threw Biden's policies all the way under the bus, especially since she didn't want to represent those policies because those policies were hurting her campaign. She threw them under the bus.
But she put in that work. But what we learned last night is that she never had a chance. Because too many American citizens are too disgusted with what they see from the extreme left, who are the progressives, who apparently hijacked the Democratic Party.
Yes.
And leaned them and pulled them so far to the left.
Yo, it's so egregious now to the point where the far left is telling you that you're homophobic and you have a problem with the LGBT community because you don't want to see them having sex in public, having displays of public indecency throughout their parades in the month of June. You don't want to see that. Because if any other community, anybody else, they're getting charged for public indecency and having egregious sex in public, but these folks are having it in their parades in front of kids, doing these things, and if you have a problem with it, you're homophobic. If you have a problem with men competing against women in physical combat sports, you're homophobic. Like, it's too far. They shame and try to tell you different, and then their policies reign supreme, and you literally got to deal with it. Folks have to deal with it's just too far gone, man.
That they felt.
Sorry, chat. This is whenever I do a political show, I've lost a platform before, so I know there's only so much I can say. I'm constantly censoring myself through this shit. I struggle to do this show. I had this show scheduled multiple times before. I'm like, okay, I can't say this. As I'm breaking down, I'm like, I can't say this. I can't say this because YouTube will snatch your platform. I've lost a platform before. They reinstated it and they told me, yeah, we made a mistake. So I lost my platform for several months, my livelihood that I built up to, where I was interviewing folks and bringing folks into the podcast. I lost that platform off an opinion on something that they revised later as it pertains to COVID. I lost a platform before. So whenever we do certain political talks, I'm very careful of it. I'm not trying to go out like fresh and fit.
Again! Hell, even if it is Donald Trump, at least that would be closer to us recognizing the country that we live in as opposed to what we've been subjected to. And in the end, celebrities who are worth hundreds of millions, if not billions, who most American citizens feel are incredibly detached from their way of life and their quality of life, we're not going to get away in guilting them into doing something different than what their experience says is going on and what they should do about it.
Let me tell y'all a secret. The game is to be sold, not told, but I'll tell y'all a secret right now. When it comes to when we do these breakdowns, and I have opposing views to some of the passport bros or some of the people in the red pill space or the manosphere, I will chastise them. I will give them the answers they so desire. They always like, oh, you have no answers and solutions. No, I'll give them the answers and solutions, but it will come with ridicule. Oh. It'll come with shame. Oh. It'll come with disrespect. It'll come with entirely too many drops. Oh. And then they're like, man, fuck it, I ain't listening to this nigga. So they repeat the same process. And I get more content.
Oh, my mama, nigga.
I get more content. So it's like, they don't want to listen. They don't want to make the improvements because I'm shaming them. No one's going to listen to that shit.
That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the truth.
Stephen A., your thoughts on the election as it just went down?
I was surprised at how lopsided it was.
Like, if I did a breakdown right now and I told Floyd everything that he was doing wrong, or Rello or whatever, and I was kind about it, I didn't shame them at all, I didn't hit no drops, I didn't do it from a place where they're thinking it's malice, maybe, actually, no, they wouldn't listen.
Oh, somebody, oh.
Nah, they wouldn't listen. Yeah, I fucked up. Those guys, yeah, they're a next level of dense. Yeah, they have callers that spend money on their platform, call in, give them the greatest advice, and they still don't listen. So never mind, chat. Never mind. Some people are helpless. You can't save them. It is what it is. This was Stephen A. Smith on The View debating why Kamala Harris lost the presidency and why Donald Trump was named the 47th president of the United States of America. The View... Some of these opinions, yo, chat, let's get into this, man.
I was not surprised by the outcome. I saw the outcome coming from a mile away. You have to take into account, listen, we respect our president, Joe Biden, but here's the reality. He got into office. He promised to be a transitional president, to be a stopgap to pave the way for somebody else to come on board. Into the midterms, it was supposed to be a red wave. It did not happen. The Democrats was flying high. He felt the momentum because he was the incumbent.
Wait, you said this on your show already.
I've seen him do it.
Let me just fast forward this chat since we heard him make the exact same point in the exact same way. He articulated the words pretty much verbatim. Let me just skip this a little bit because we heard this. We understand the point, chat.
He's forced and compelled to step away because donors to the Democratic establishment, they were not going to support that. And then Kamala Harris is inserted. I don't blame her one bit.
Same.
I thought she did a phenomenal job.
Yep.
She went all out. She did what she could.
Now, this is why Stephen A. Smith is a good commentator, a good orator, because verbatim, he said the same shit on his show. He went in front of The View. He did not switch up his verbiage at all. He said the exact same thing. He's telling him exactly what the reason is. I'm not going to start pandering to y'all, soften the blow, none of that. Just, this is exactly what I said on my show. This is what it was. This is exactly what it is on your show.
But you can't overcome that kind of situation. And remember, there's two C words that are incredibly important in America. Capitalism is one. Competition is another, because it's a metaphor for capitalism in a lot of people's eyes. Because you were inserted, even though you were the vice president and it was the Biden-Harris administration, you had folks who are independent. I'm not talking about those on the right, and I'm not talking about those on the left, just independents, who said, wait a minute, she didn't experience a primary either. And the last time we saw her in a primary was 4 years ago, and she didn't even make it to Iowa. They used that as an excuse to point to her level of inexperience. Then you got the war in Russia and Ukraine, you got the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Hamas and Hezbollah and all of that stuff, and you had Trump using codes. Look, do you want her? Where is she? Where's the interviews? Where's she showing herself?
I knew Trump was going to win the presidency when he was on Andrew Schultz's show and they asked him, who do you think that shot you? Who do you think was behind? You know what? Never mind. Let me keep this opinion away. This might not be one of them safe opinions. Yeah, see, this is why I don't like talking politics, because I might say something that will feed into something else, and then people will be like, wait, where are you getting at? And I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. I hope y'all know some of the things that are not conspiracy theory. They're just, you know what, let's move on. Fuck it, man.
The tough questions. Where's the interrogation? And he leaned on certain things. And you knew people were going to gravitate to that because right now, as divided as our country is, fear comes associated with that. And because that fear was there, he fed off of it.
Yeah.
And people bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And that's why he's the president.
And Stephen, let me ask you, because I agree on all counts. There's a lot to unpack of what kind of went wrong for Democrats here. I think a factor is the working class feeling left behind, not reaching out to rural Americans. But what do you identify as what Democrats got wrong? And it seems like you agree Biden maybe should have stepped aside sooner.
He definitely should have stepped aside. I said it a year ago. I was on camera. Everybody was getting on me. I said a year ago, he needs to step aside.
You took some heat.
You remember, though, that he said, does everybody remember he originally said he was just going to do it for 4 years?
Right. Yeah. That's what I brought up.
Right. And did you think that once you know who stepped in, he said, well, there's nobody, we don't have anybody?
Well, the point is that it's not about who you're going up against when you know you're not what you used to be. And see, this is where covering sports puts me at a distinct advantage. I cover people every day where it's time for you to go, but you're holding on and you don't want to leave. People who cover the world of sports are accustomed to seeing that all the time. And so now here you are, to answer your question directly, you are the left, you leaned, and you were a prisoner to the extreme left in a lot of people's eyes. Well, guess what? Most of America doesn't operate on the fringes. Whether you're left or you're right, you're relatively centrist. You believe in compromise, negotiation, working with one another. Nobody gets to get everything they want.
Exactly.
The problem is those on the fringes continuously push for you to get everything you want. They're not about getting things done. They're about getting their way. And if they're not—
That point right there is the most powerful point, and that is the embodiment of what we're seeing from today's Democrat. they're not trying to get it right. They're trying to have their motherfucking way.
Not going to get their way. They're about complaining and griping about it because they understand that when you are operating based off of grievance, that's usually what provokes you to get to the polls. And that is why they don't mind feeling aggrieved and displaying and disseminating that kind of message, because they know people are going to gravitate to that. And as a result, that might get them to the polls, you thinking you're going to get what you want as a result of it. And in this particular case, the Republicans were right.
So
It
you
worked.
think the Republicans are sort of an extreme fringe party?
No,
at this point?
I don't think that they're an extreme fringe party. I think that they're operating against those they believe are extreme on the left. Like, for example, when you talk about
Trump sold the extreme right a dream. When they say he panders to his base, the extreme right, yeah, he doubles down and tells them a lot of fabrications that don't actually amount to anything in the end. A lot of the things that he said to the extreme right people, come on, man. Come on, man. We'll see if that goes anywhere. We'll see if that, come on, man.
the LGBTQ community. I'm a fiscal conservative and I'm a social liberal. I'm fiscal with my dollars. I ain't apologizing for not wanting to pay high taxes to anybody. I'm not apologizing for that, right? But outside of that, I'm pretty liberal. Live and let live, okay? But you had folks on the left that were introducing some things when we got in the whole transgender issue, and they were talking about bathrooms, or they were talking about males transitioning to females and competing against girls in sports and stuff.
The thing is, let me break this down real quick. There's the far left and the far right. The far right propagates a lot of extreme thoughts that are crazy, that don't actually end up in, they don't end up being any policies, any legislation, nothing. They don't end up, it doesn't amount to anything. Culminates into internet rhetoric with a bunch of dumbasses speaking in chat forums. The extreme left has got things into policy. They've got some of the crazy things that people don't approve of. They got it approved. We have to deal with it and live with it. So there's certain things that you can speak to the right about, and they'll be like, yeah, we want a level of normalcy. We don't want the craziness that we've been seeing going on persisting, that the left has pretty much administrated into legislation. So it's a little different when it comes to extreme right versus extreme left. Both are too damn extreme. Most people are just right of center or just left of center. Most Republicans aren't extreme right. Most Democrats aren't extreme left. Democratic Party continually capitulates to the desires of the extreme left, and that's why it gets really fucked up, real fucked up. And that's why people are like, yeah, we're done now. We had people that were liberal Democrats that were just left of center that are now finding themselves on the right side.
Stuff like that. These
That's
are
less than 1% of the population.
I understand that,
But you know what?
That's ridiculous.
But I think that's where the mistake is made.
Yeah, 'cause
You're saying it's ridiculous.
Sorry, we got to go back to this point right here.
Whole transgender issue, and they were talking about bathrooms, or they were talking about
the transgender issue is an example of the far left actually getting policy out of their far left ideology that's a little too far for most people. The transgenders in the bathrooms with little kids, the transgenders competing against natural born women. These things are they exist now, so it's
males transitioning to females and competing against girls in sports and stuff like that. These
That's
are
less than 1% of the population.
I understand that,
But you know what?
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous, and that's the point. It's 1% of the population. It is a small portion of the population, but we're running campaigns, entire campaigns, talking about we are going to do this for said community. Like, come on, left, get it together.
But I think that's where the mistake is made.
Yeah, 'cause
You're saying it's ridiculous. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But most of the voters out there don't think like that.
But
that
means they don't have the information.
Okay, but 90% of the voters.
Typical Democrat, you don't have the information. You don't know. I know better than you. So when I have my opinion, it should supersede yours because I know better. That same mentality is what had Trudeau shutting down the entire country, and the reason why everyone can't wait to get to the polls to vote his bitch ass out. I know better than you, I'm going to control your life. People don't want that shit, especially in the free world. You get away with that shit in Canada, but not America. What are we doing out here?
Don't have the information. If you're out there busting your tail to make ends meet and to pay your bills, and you're going to work every day, and you got a family to take care of, and you got to stay, you're in New York City, you're getting stuck 2 hours of your day, you're stuck in traffic. You understand? You got a whole bunch of stuff to go through. You don't have time to know what you and I know.
Maybe you need to listen to the news when you're in traffic.
Well, again,
maybe
I agree
not.
with
Be
that.
uninformed.
Yeah, that's gonna get you more votes. That's gonna get you more votes. That condescending, chastising tone, that's gonna get you more votes.
You listen to stuff that's going to take you away from the things that brings down your spirit.
Look at that look. What the fuck is going on out here? Hey, yo.
What the hell was that?
She's a whole demon, bro. What is wrong with this lady? Why is she looking at the man like that?
And that's unfortunately what most voters are doing.
Let me ask you this. How you want to speak?
No.
Sorry.
Sure.
Because Howard Stern says that he wasn't confident that the country was ready to elect the first female president because he knows, quote, how men talk behind closed doors about us. So,
What?
More black men have checked out of the Democratic Party because they felt like they have not been listened to. They've been pretty much just entitled to the black male vote. Only 25% voted Republican. The 75% still voted, an overwhelming majority still voted Democrat. Why are we making a point of they don't want a woman to be president and X, Y, and Z? A point of misogyny when that is a minority? We don't do that. Why would we do that?
so we're very privileged to have a great guy here today.
Yeah.
Tell her, what do men say about us behind
Well,
closed
first of all,
Yeah. Say it to our
tell.
faces.
Yeah.
Do tell.
I don't hide, so no worries there. Here's the deal. I respectfully disagree with Howard Stern, only from the standpoint that I wish he had been more specific. Why don't you say white men? Because let me tell you something about black men. We love our mamas.
I know
that. Yep.
We love.
Yeah, stop that, Howard Stern.
Stop that. You're white.
Fuck out of here, Howard Stern. You ain't speaking for all men. Speak for y'all niggas, man.
And we revere black women. And when we're trifling, we know it's us.
Yep.
It's not them.
Right, yeah.
You
I
understand?
understand. I
So
do.
when he's saying that, okay, well then let's talk about white men. We have a white power structure that still exists in this country today. I understand the white populace in this country was over 85% at one time. It's now dipped to about 57.4%.
Yep.
The white power structure is still in place. So when we talk about misogyny, when we talk about chauvinism, when we talk about women not necessarily being empowered, well, who's in a position of power to surrender some of that power? It's white men. So I think that when Howard Stern was talking, I can't speak to what white men are thinking. I can tell you this much. Black men, we revere women.
Yeah.
We don't have any problem looking at a woman as a leader. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
Next question.
You said you were, way back in 2016, before Trump ran for president, you were friendly with him because he's really in.
Now, that point right there, he was just making the point to exclude black men because she said Howard Stern was making the point about how men speak differently about women behind closed doors, but she brought that question to a black man on air. And you know how black men have been wrongly maligned and being called misogynist by other black men in the media, or even Barack Obama implying that black men were having a level of misogyny when it comes to not wanting a woman to be in power. So he had to specifically speak for black men and say, I don't know what's going on with the rest of the men, the white men. That's why I made the distinction there.
To sports, and you said that the fact that he's a sports guy, which I didn't realize because I don't think of sports when I look at him, but yeah, I'm not even being snarky. I just don't think of a sports
What
guy.
about riding around
You
a
on
golf
the-
court? Doesn't that count?
Right, but you on the other hand, I get, you said that being a sports guy helped him.
Well,
what
listen,
did you mean by that?
Because what happened is that a lot of African Americans, Latinos, and others, we associated ourselves with him because he would host fights at Trump casinos. He would show up at basketball games and stuff like that. So there was a lot of things that he showed during his time as president that we never saw. Okay, and me personally, I was one of the few that had communicated with him in 2014. This is a true story, and I've said this publicly on several occasions. Donald Trump called me, and he wanted to purchase the Buffalo Bills. And the price tag was at about $1.4 billion at that time. He had about 1.1 billion.
He did.
And yeah, that's what he said. That's what they said.
What he said.
I'm just telling you what they said. What I was told. And he called me and he said, I'm trying to buy the bills, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, quote, Stephen A., if them get in my way, I'm gonna get them all back. I'm gonna run for president. That's exactly what he said. And so when I tell this story to folks in the NFL, they said, so it's our fault. And I said, basically, then I joke around about it, but obviously, you know, they felt the way that they felt, but he was a guy that really ingratiated himself with a lot of different communities and what have you. And so some of the things that we saw in an effort for him to appeal to his base, per se, we didn't see that. And we never got that impression from him. And the reason why that's so important is that when you've seen others come out, and dare I say, maybe not in support of him, but they didn't excoriate him to the degree that others may have preferred us to do so on the left, we deduced it to he's saying whatever it takes to cater to that base to get himself elected, because he will do what's expedient. So if you show him that I'll get votes this way, he doesn't care.
Yep.
He'll deal with the fallout later. The objective for him is to win first.
Exactly.
And then address things later on. That's always been his MO, and that's what we've seen.
Yeah. Well,
that's the thing.
I want to go back to...
That's the thing, and that's... When you see people that operate like that, those are the folks that are winning. Everybody that wants to have everything, they literally want to have everything. They want to have their cake, eat it too, and then control yours. They're losing. That's the Democratic Party right now. They want you to believe every little thing that they say, even the negative shit about the end. Like it's total control. I don't even know how to frame it in the right perspective. Maybe we can get a little bit of help from this. We have a caller. We have is this Jay the informant in the back? This nigga put his title as Test. Hey, yo, what's going on, man? I'm gonna bring you up right now.
Oh, I thought that was my the code. My bad. I'm tripping.
All right, yo. Okay, so anybody that wants to call in, hit the call-in link. The password is Test. We're going to start a panel. We're going to have a little bit of discussion about this. I know a lot of people have been wanting to speak to me about this or speak their mind on the matter, so definitely let's have a discussion. Do you want to be on screen or not?
Yeah, you can put me on screen, but I really want to change my name, though. I probably need to call back in. I must have put Test in twice.
No, I could change it for you right now. Hold up.
Hey, man.
All right, I got
Put Kingmaker. There you go. Appreciate that, man.
All right, let me pull you up on screen. All right, so we got Jay, the informant, in the building. Hold on, let me get my drops ready.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Sorry about the HP, man. If I put like 720 on my HP, my computer started freezing and stuff. I don't know what's up with that, man.
Oh, like 720p resolution? Oh, you gotta be in the 120p.
I don't know if I'm in the 120p or if I'm in like the.
No, it's like either like 360.
360 or 480. One of it can't be 480. You know what I'm saying? It got to be 360, something like that, right?
Yeah. All right, man.
And so I'm looking at myself on the TV screen. So okay, I look pretty good. So this whole thing, man. Stephen A. Smith, I don't believe anything he's saying. He's a coon. This guy, he's fronting, man. Like everything he says, bro. I mean. This guy, he keeps claiming he's an independent, but every time I hear or see him, he's always, you know, on the Democratic side of the party. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't trust anything that this guy has to say. On top of that, the Democrats are out here now turning on each other when they knew that there was not only people were suffering economically, but they were suffering from all this other issues, social issues, economical issues, and they didn't address that in any of the campaigns. Kamala Harris herself was pretty much running on hope and joy, which was not going to get you to the finish line.
Yep.
So the reason that Trump got all these votes from the 1 out of every 4 black men voted for him and all that stuff, he didn't get those votes because Trump was the best. He got the votes because we've been through Joe Biden and Kamala Harris 4 years. So, you know what I mean? Like, we already been through that. So we see that the economic conditions are terrible right now. So we ran back to Trump because we knew that we didn't run back because I voted Green Party, but they ran back to Trump because they knew that the issues were going to be, I guess, a little bit better under Trump, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. So you voted for the Green Party? You just wasted your vote, bro.
Nah, I didn't waste anything, man. We actually finished third. We finished over all the other independent parties, but you know what I mean? I feel like people are propagandized to the way that they vote, man. Because like I can't see why Democrat, people who voted Democrat, I don't know why the hell you guys voted Democrat. You guys can. I have not met one person. Now, one of these little idiots that pretty much Roland Martin, Van Jones, all these other sissies that they're sassy as I don't know what. Yep. Roland Martin was caught up there. He's been on the Kamala Harris banner so much that he was flipping through his phone and they found him watching man cheeks, walk up and down the screen. I mean, he literally had man, buns on his screen, and people were making fun of him because of that. Bro, Jamal Green ran up on him in Chicago when they had that whole DNC convention. They've been getting paid by the Democratic Party. That's why they did this thing. That's why I was taking shots at Dave Packman. Dave Packman was at the White House. Nothing that they did, and they had more money than the Trump campaign. Remember that? I think they spent him by I think it was 5 times more. They had more money than the Trump campaign, but you guys lost this race because you guys had nothing but fear mongering, racism, you guys, and hope. Fear mongering, racism, and hope. That was not going to get you to the finish line.
Yep.
I mean, we're over here living under the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris regime, and it's not a good living, man. We have less money. And I guess, when they say that we're doing something for you, when it comes to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, when they say we're doing something for you, I guess what they mean by that is that we're taking more money out of your pocket. So when you get paid, you have less money to spend. So you have less things to worry about spending that money on.
When they're talking about, when they said that they're doing something for you, they were basically, what Joe Biden was referencing was the marginal drop in the inflation percentage. But that's why Stephen A. Smith said, if we don't feel it, you don't see it at the pumps, you don't see it at the grocery store, you bringing out a graph and showing us a marginal drop in inflation means nothing through the 4 years. So he tried to show the percentage, how they went up in his first couple of years and they went back down because he tried to attribute the first few years in rise in inflation to the years that Trump was in office and the COVID years. And then his administration and the work that they put in dropped the inflation marginally. But that didn't help. And the problem is Kamala did not denounce Joe Biden's policies or his work. So
facts.
People are looking at the economy, they're looking at their livelihood, they understand that they're spending into their savings, people are living week to week and dipping into savings, so life is getting real tight for a lot of people. They say more than 75% of Americans, I don't know, the stat was crazy. Nonetheless, they're like, these are the current living conditions, and you're telling us it's going to be 4 more years of that? And then you're going to try to tell us that this guy is so bad and we're going to go into slavery and lose our rights and all X, Y, and Z. But we had this same guy 4 years ago and we were living better than we're living now. Terrible, terrible campaign strategy. I don't even know why they thought that was good.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. But according to Cardi B, it wasn't going to be 4 more years. It's going to be 8 more years. Because we're going to get her elected not once, but twice. So it's going to be 8 more years of Kamala Harris. So it would have been 12 years from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris, 12 whole years. We're already, inflation is hit. You know what I mean? Inflation is hitting us. They talking about, oh, well, the economy is doing good. The economy is doing good for the millionaires and the people, who has, I guess, a position in the country where they can actually exploit workers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't see how they see that the economy is doing good. So when I actually saw the Kamala Harris rally when there was the night of the election, I was surprised to see how many people were actually out there because I'm like, why are all these people out there? She's not going to win. She didn't speak to any working class issues. She didn't talk about the economy. She didn't talk about how she's going to limit migration because migration actually contributes to more illegals getting hired at these places where they can pay them lower wages or under the table for that fact. So she didn't talk about anything that was hitting the kitchen table, why people can't afford to, feed their families on the same budget when Trump was in office as when her and Joe Biden was in office. And then when she's in office with Joe Biden, she's over here bragging about how good. Oh, you know what? Bidenomics. She kept on saying that crap. Bidenomics. She Bidenomics. They always were saying that. They don't say it anymore, man. But she was bragging about Bidenomics. They bragged about all these economic conditions that they said were so great. But it wasn't great for us. It was great for them. It was great for the top part of the Democrats who are getting paid. In my opinion, they're getting paid excessively because I would say that somebody that goes to a shipping work job, they go work 48 hours. They do more work than a politician, than a pundit and all that stuff. So they don't understand the real economic conditions, man, in my opinion.
Yep.
And then we have all these companies. All these companies are starting to shut down. We just heard about the 1,500 workers who just lost their jobs at that tire shop over there in Chicago. They closed down that Japanese Japanese owned that place over there in Chicago. They shut down. 1,500 people just lost their jobs because of the revenue, because they could ship in tires from China and I want to say Japan, or either China and Japan, or China and Taiwan, whatever. My bad, man. I've been drinking, man.
That's cool. See, Trump does not play. Trump hit everybody with tariffs. I don't think people understand how bad it is. Trump, essentially, we have Canadians that say they would have voted for Trump, but they don't understand that we're a victim of tariffs as well. We have Canadian companies that do large business with American companies that got slapped with tariffs, so they're pretty much going under. We had multiple large companies in Canada go under this year because of the tariffs, because Biden, he got into office, he didn't lift the tariffs. Tariffs are very hard and difficult to just lift tariffs. And we had a free trade agreement with America, but a lot of the agreement got fucked up because Trump is America first. He's making sure that y'all jobs and y'all money is secure at the detriment of everybody else. So sometimes when folks try to act like other people in other countries can't have an interest in American politics, I think that is some of the most asinine, some of the most short-sighted, some of the most low IQ opinions out there. That's why when folks get in the chat and say that, I always go off on them because they're like, oh, you're getting emotional. I'm like, no, I got to make this a solid point that you guys are idiots for saying this, because there's news stations globally that cover geopolitics, and for somebody to be so narrow-minded that they think they should only focus on their country, I'm like, that's why you're lost in the world. I mean, you don't know anything if you're just focused singularly on your country.
And especially when it comes to economics, because like what I have seen over the last 2 years with economics, you have to remember that we're in a NAFTA agreement, which is it's Mexico.
It's a North American free trade agreement. It's Mexico, Canada,
Canada, and America.
And America,
and Mexico is getting exploited because they're the least. Their dollars are the least valued among the three. Canada is the highest. Then there's America. Then there's Mexico.
No. America's the highest. Canada's second.
No, Canada's dollar is worth more than ours.
Nah, we're 70 cents on the dollar right now. We're at an all-time. We're almost at an all-time low in reference to your dollar. Yeah. The euro dollar's higher.
I did not know about that.
Euro's the highest.
I know the euro's higher, but I could have sworn that Canada was higher than ours.
Nah, let me pull up a Google right now and see what exactly it is.
I could be wrong.
We're lower, but I want to get exactly what it is. Canadian dollar exchange rate to U.S. dollar. Let's see it.
But let me tell you about this story, because I actually read this story where this chick, she actually lives in California, but she crosses the border to come to work. It's actually an American black chick. She lives in Mexico because it's way cheaper. She comes into America to go to work. She's a school teacher. And, and that kind of shows you like the life that a lot of Americans are living, because it's too high in America for her to live, in California specifically. But, I mean, when it comes to all this stuff, the inflation is killing people. And I don't know how that didn't communicate to, I actually do. Kamala Harris is insulated by all these bourgeoisie people, whether it's Roland Martin, Van Jones, Steve Harvey, Plies. He want to act like he's
D.L. Hewley.
Plies
D.L. Hewley jumped out the window for Kamala. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Okay, I got the exchange rate there. It's 71.9. So, 72 cents.
Wow.
That's how bad it is.
Damn, I thought you guys were like, your dollar was more appreciated than ours. Wow. I didn't know that, man. That's actually.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? Wait, no.
What?
Hold up. What the hell is this? Okay, no, I was right. I was like, what the fuck is... I was reading something fucked up. My bad. I was like, what? Well, I was reading
I was about to look at my phone, man.
Yeah, it substantiated with what you were saying. I was like, how is that possible? I was reading the wrong thing. Yeah, my bad. That's what happens.
Okay. I was, because, I thought the Canadian dollars were more appreciated than our dollars, But, like I would say, Trump got elected because I don't even know where we were. I'm just going to move from forward. Trump got elected because of economics, because of immigration. Immigration's, from what I heard in the documentary, it's actually affecting you guys too, especially when it comes to housing. Am I right?
We have mass immigration. For some reason, we have entirely too much Indian citizens coming over, and to the point where it's like the people that were here a long time from India, it's to the point where they're fed up with the migration from the Indians. It's too much, and the problem is they place them all most of them are in Brampton. Some of them are in Toronto. A lot of them are spread out through Ontario, but most of them are in one specific city. So the whole city's identity changed because they had mass immigration, and it's getting carried away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, trying to say shots at them, but I don't like that, man. Where you have so much immigration and what time period did this city change? You know what I'm saying? The whole demographic change. Like 5 years, 2 years, 10 years,
over
15,
the past 5 years, the immigration has become crazy. They've used the school, the international exchange students. They've used that as an excuse to bring in a whole heap of immigrants, but a lot of them aren't even in school, so it doesn't explain the influx of immigration. And then the exchange students are supposed to be here temporarily, so they're not supposed to be here for the whole time. There's they use that to pretty much get in a lot of these immigrants under our noses. They act like it's just for the schooling, but we're like, wait, these are full-time immigrants that they're not here for school or a said period of time.
They ain't leaving, man.
Yeah, they ain't leaving either. So
they ain't here for school. They here for life.
Yeah, so we boosted our population. We're at like 42 million now. We were at 39 million a couple years ago. So we had a 3 million people increase within the last 8 years. That's crazy. And a lot of that is in the last 5 years, and that's off of immigration. And the biggest problem is a large majority of them are coming from one specific country, and that's India. So Canada is looking like a different place right now because of the immigration, and Trudeau fucked that up. And he has deals with India, and India is trying to go in on him. I remember there was a report recently where the Prime Minister of India was saying some there's some quarrel going on with India. I haven't been paying too much attention to it, but there is an issue right now, and they're going back and forth. And I'm like, how, after all the immigration that Canada has taken in, or the emigration that Canada has taken in from India, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I'm pretty much gonna wrap up this show. We've been talking for a long time. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Nobody else is really calling in on this subject, and we know where you voted and what you stand on when it comes to this Democrat situation.
Well, I will say this: I'm not gonna because Green Party wasn't all down the ballot over here. We had 74 different things to vote on. It was 74, but 3 of them were initiative that you wanted to. So I think the only initiative I actually voted on was they wanted $400 million more into the Houston area technology advancement for students, and I voted for that. But the other 2 I voted against because we have too much construction in Houston and it's just ridiculous. But I actually voted for, I actually voted for Democratic judges down the ballot.
Yeah,
and I voted for Republicans when it came to tax. I believe it was tax and collections office and all that stuff. I did vote for some Republicans and some Democrats, but whenever there was a Green Party candidate, whether it was Jill Stein for president, whether it was our Senate, whether it was U.S. Congress on the federal level, I voted for Green Party because they actually have principles I stand on, which she wanted to end the wars. She wanted to have a public, free college for 2 years and all that stuff. And Medicare for all, things that everybody want to, talk about they want. These women are out here talking about abortion rights, but when you talk about Medicare for all, which will benefit everybody, man and female, 100% of the population, they don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Because the Democrats don't want them talking about that. Democrats wanted them focused on 2 things: Trump bad, abortion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's it.
That's crazy.
When Obama got in office in 2008, he had the Senate, he had the freaking Congress, and he was the freaking president. He promised to get the solidify Roe v. Wade. He did not solidify Roe v. Wade in 2008. So why are we talking about this in 2024?
Yeah.
Obama and his big mama Michelle, they had the chance to do this. If they wanted to do it, they could have did it. So I don't want to hear all these, and I'm not trying to disrespect people because I understand to a level that propaganda is an enemy of all the people, and it confuses all the people. But
I think social media amplifies propaganda in the worst way.
Sir.
And that's why the Democrats had a false representation from the fluff that they see in social media. They think it represents the majority. And I'm like, y'all are going to have a rude awakening. I've been saying it, but folks didn't want to listen. I'm like, it's not gonna turn out that way because it's mostly propaganda. When you said that they ran on abortion and Trump bad as their main 2, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, that's all I've been consuming from their party side, and that's so bad. That's so egregious that they thought that. You brought up Medicare or
Medicare for all.
Yeah, Medicare for all,
which is a progressive issue. And you actually said something earlier. I want to correct you a little bit on. I'm not trying to be, but Democrats are not moving far left. These people that are in the Democrats, they have the same donors as the Republicans. I think they're more of the center, and the far left people who actually want Medicare for all, who actually wants to raise the minimum wage. I think those are the far left people.
No, I'm
but
saying their party's campaigning on far left issues, like talking about
which is stupid.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And you know what? One thing I will say about this, like for the last 3 years, I heard nothing but LGBTQ rights and all that stuff. But when they came to their campaigning, because LGBTQIA community only makes up like 1% of the population, Democrats didn't even use them.
Exactly.
So we heard about all this crap. Exactly. So we heard about all this crap, and then even when it comes to Hollywood, we hear about all that nonstop because they're in Hollywood, which is I think Hollywood should be like dismantled, and we should like explore more opportunities in Atlanta. Well, not Atlanta. In Louisiana, I think the dude that plays Captain America, the new Captain America, the black guy, he's trying to build a studio in Atlanta. There should be more opportunities when it comes to media platforms in these big movie scenes, because Hollywood is infected. I don't know what to say about these people.
Yeah, because Hollywood. My bad for cutting you off. Hollywood.
No, you good.
Toronto has been called Hollywood East for over the past decade now, because we have so much movie studios, so much production studios in Toronto now. What 50 did, 50 brought his G-Unit studios to Shreveport, Louisiana. So the people that are minded like 50, they're building infrastructure for American studios and like alternatives to Hollywood, because it's spreading. And with a Trump-like mind, we wouldn't have a Hollywood East in Toronto, which is good for us, but some of that needs to be protected for Americans. They got to bring that back to America to have more American jobs.
Absolutely. Now you're right about that, man, because there's too many people that want to get in on what's going on in Hollywood, so they will conform to the norms and the fascism that Hollywood brings, whether it's these sex parties, these Diddy parties and all this other degenerate stuff. So they'll do all that. But when you go and build your own, I guess you have more leeway to not being involved in that stuff. But I look at people who want to be independent, like Cat Williams, versus people who want to be completely dependent on Hollywood, more like a Steve Harvey. You want to be part of the big gang. You want to conform to their norms and all that stuff. But Cat Williams, like he said himself, man, everything should be revealed in 2024. That was the best interview, because I love interviews where the guest is like pretty much the occupying force. Like not occupying force, but the guest is actually leading the conversation, which we saw with Shannon Sharp and Cat Williams, man. But I will say this. The reason that I think the Democrats also, and I think that the Democrats need to get more back to what they should be. They need to get rid of all this whole we're not going to listen to the working class, because the working class is what they usually depend on, but they don't speak to the working class anymore. So they need to get back to the working class. They need to actually do some tangible things for the population that votes for them.
You know what's bad? When the billionaire Donald Trump becomes the man for the working class. That's the Democrats fucked up bad. Like, that's horrible.
Bro, they don't speak for the working class no more, man. I can't think of one person that speaks for the working class in the Democratic Party. I mean, they got this fake group called the Progressives, but the Progressives are just another form of the Democrat. They just want to appeal to the millennials and Gen Z. Yep. But the Progressives are just they're just a new brand on the old faces of the Democrats, where you guys can come over here. And this is why the Democrats attack the Green Party and other independent parties on the local levels, because when it comes to the independent party and the Green parties, well, you just say independent parties in total, they always take votes from the Democrats, not the Republicans, because people already know where they want to go. I have no respect for the Democratic Party. I voted for Joe Biden in 2020. My mistake, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know about the 3 strikes. I didn't know about all this other thing. He made all these promises. He talked about I wasn't even for the George Floyd, policing, whatever. He made all these promises, but he did nothing. Kamala Harris and Magic Johnson. Oh, Magic, how can you as a man get up there and talking about you black man? Bro, have you even raised the black man? Have anybody seen his
what's
son?
up with it, big bro?
What's going on, man? Have anybody seen
Who's
Magic
this?
Johnson's son?
His brother
Anyway,
Jumpy in the back?
sorry. Sorry.
No, my bad.
Have anybody seen
There's somebody else that called in that said
Big
something.
West?
Yeah, who's that?
Big
Yeah,
West?
what's up with it, brother? I'm over here trying to figure out how to work it, brother. I ain't never been on this one. I'm usually used to StreamYard.
Oh,
You all right?
Too, man.
I don't know who this is. I thought it was Jumpy at first, but nah.
Nah, this Big Wiz, bro.
Big
I
Wiz.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah. I usually go by D-Town, but people know me.
Okay.
D-Town? Detroit?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what I was
Nah,
gonna say
Dallas,
is,
out of Dallas.
okay. I'm in Houston, man. But what I was gonna say is, when you got people like Magic Johnson, who's a black man, disrespecting black men, talking about what we need to do, have he even raised a black man? Because I know he has a quote unquote son, but when you look at that, he don't identify as a son. You know, I mean, that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? If you look at him, just Google him. That's all I gotta say. But I don't want to take up too much time, man.
All right, man. Shout out to Jay the Informant with that call and the call in. Yeah, Magic Johnson's son. He's on that Dwayne Wade son type shit, isn't he? He's yeah. Yikes. Yo, Big West, what you got on the topic before I run this show off? Because I'm literally trying to get the fuck out of here. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to eat some food. I'm starving.
Okay. Man, I just wanted to let you know, man, you been doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? I've been catching you. The algorithm been putting your channel on me, brother. So I mean, so I've been watching you. You've been doing good, brother. Keep it up. I'm just glad, being on the right side of history, brother. You know what I'm saying? I voted Republican, Big Trump.
Who did you vote for?
What I'm saying? I voted Big Trump.
There you go.
I'm all about this paper.
Yeah, well, salute to you. Shout out to you. Respect for the congratulations and shit. Yeah, but we're pretty much gonna wrap up the show. My bad for my disorganization towards the end, but
Oh, bro, I was disorganized. I was trying to get my information together, but man, like I said, I've been over here drinking, man. So my information all the way there. Sorry, but I'm trying to conform my sentences in the best way I can, man.
You know how it is on a live. You know how it is on a live stream now, man. Because sometimes you just go and it's just like, yeah, we got to wrap this up, man. Sometimes you make a point on a live stream and you don't know where the fuck to land the plane because you already started before you thought about where the fuck you going.
Crash, man. But I ain't even in the plane, man. I'm in the helicopter, man. They hit the mountains a long time ago. You just kept on letting me talk, man.
Nah, but you were landing the plane. You were surprising me at one point. I'm like, yo, where the fuck we going with this conversation? But you actually you brought out some topics that made me reminded me of things that I should have been discussing. When you brought up the Medicaid, you brought up the war, or was it Medicare? I can't remember what the fuck it is. I'm Canadian.
Medicare for all. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, man. A lot of what do you think, before we wrap up the show, what do you think of, you know what, fuck it, let's wrap up the show. I'm not even gonna ask the war questions. Right, it's gonna go down a wormhole. I'm thinking about it, fuck it right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jay the Informant for the call in. Yeah, chat. We have a lot more on the way. We have a lot more topics to discuss, but I ain't gonna lie, I can't even think at this point. I need to use the bathroom, and I need to get I got a meal in my stomach. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm struggling.
Everybody take care, man. Good night, everybody. Happy Saturday,
Salute to Jay the Informant. Yo, when I really try to rush the end of a stream, I make it look like a struggle stream, but at the end of the day,
we don't care.
Let me tell you
we don't care.
We out, chat. We had a little discussion. We let y'all know why Trump won the election according to a miscellaneous group of fellers that we reacted to, including Stephen A. Smith. More Stephen A. Smith. This guy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. This average, everyday, middle class white dude. We got some perspective here. Of course, we got Charleston White's perspective, which is always a 2-pack of ass.
I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
Shout out to Jay the Informant for calling in and carrying the show. Shout out to you. We out. Yeah.